Hi, this is Linda Cafe once again with the Team Run Smart Cafe. Today we are going to make loaded mashed cauliflower. Doesn't sound too appetizing, but I think it's going to work out really well. So you start out with a large head of cauliflower. We're going to cut it up. I'm actually going to use my KitchenAid this time, and I'm going to use it for boiling the cauliflower, and then I'm also going to somewhat bake it in there. So first thing I got to do is cut all this off. And you want your cauliflower cut into smaller pieces. So, because we're going to mash it. After it gets semi-cooked, it's not going to be super soft. Since we're going to cook it twice, I don't want it to turn into total mush. So what I do is just kind of keep going around the stem like this and getting pieces off of it. I have a little bit of water in here. I'll put this in. Before you know it, you've got the stem out of it. But these are kind of big, so I'm going to cut them down just a little bit, drop them in my pot. Not really sure how long it's going to take to cook it. I'll have to let you know how long it'll take. But I think it's going to be good. It's got bacon in it, it's got cheese in it, it's got cream cheese in it, it's got sour cream in it, butter. You know, it's got everything in there. Make a good side dish, or probably could even use it as a main dish if you wanted to. But I think it's going to make a good side dish. So I have all my cauliflower in there. I'm going to add enough water to cover it. If you don't have a sink like I do, using a gallon of water works just as well. Bob has our sink set up really nice. When we fill the water tank, it's filtered from the hose going into the water tank, and then we also have another filter going to the sink, so everything's double filtered. So how this works is just turn it on. It usually goes to 450. I only want to do it at 350, so I'm going to bring it down, hit start, and it will bring it to a boil rather quickly. Yeah, you can put the lid on it. The other thing that it calls for is bacon. So I'm going to go ahead and start the bacon, which I know I've done a bacon video, but this time I am going to use this pan because I need to do a lot. And I bought a different kind of bacon than I normally do. I needed a thin bacon for another recipe, and I have to admit I'm not a fan of it. This is what I bought, and I bought it because it didn't have any sugar in it, but it is. I usually buy Wright's bacon, and this thin bacon is hard to work with, so I really want to get it used up quickly. And if I have time, I'll have to show the recipe I made using this thin bacon, which was called stuffed jalapeno poppers, and you wrapped them in bacon, and they did turn out pretty darn good. But I don't think I'll ever buy this bacon again. What I want to do with this is I'm going to get it real crispy, and I'm going to crumble it to go into my cauliflower. Another idea would be to buy the pre-cooked bacon, or something else I just learned about, another driver posted, which I thought was really neat, is you can go into the morning buffet and you can buy bacon that's already cooked, and it's just charged by the pound, and they're saying it's even cheaper than buying the bacon and cooking it yourself. So I'm gonna give that a try one of these days. Buy it just off the line. So the recipe calls for 6 pieces of bacon, which this thing holds just perfect. So I will get it in cooking in the microwave, and we'll be back. So this is Linda and I'm back. The cauliflower is cooked. I checked it. I just put a fork in it and it won't pick it up, so I am going to go ahead and drain it. I'll turn this off first. All you have to do on these is just hold the power in for a little bit and it'll shut off. Also, what I like on this is you can see it has a pouring spout, and I think that helps a lot. You know, I'm going to show you something else that I have that I really like. In the truck, I have everything I have is collapsible, so it doesn't take up any room. So my collapsible strainer, I'll pour this in. So since we're in a truck and I don't have all the amenities at home, I have to mash that cauliflower, and I don't have a masher. So one of the things I'm going to use is another collapsible bowl. This is part of what Bolt has for essentials in a truck. So I'm going to dump the cauliflower in here, and we're just going to do the best job we can. I'm going to use a cup that I had and just mash it down, and it's just you know, it's one of the things in a truck you got to learn to improvise and use what you have. And you know, even it's the same with any of the recipes. You use what you have. You know, you could buy cauliflower that was already cut up. You know, I almost think you could also buy frozen cauliflower and do this, but you don't have to use the ingredients exactly. You know, use what you have, what sounds good to you, and what would taste good to you. So, this cup worked really good. So that looks good to me. Next, I'm just going to add in, this was our bacon that you saw me starting to cook. It's all nice and crispy. Dump that in. It called for a cup of sharp cheddar cheese, and I already grated it, or you could buy the pre-grated. These are also collapsible, so it takes up a lot less room. I can carry more that way. Then we got to put in a what was it called? A half cup of sour cream. Another collapsible. Where'd my fork? There we go. Collapsible bowl. The other thing is, I'm not worried about being exact. It, you know, I'm going to get about a half a cup, and probably if I wasn't doing it on video, I wouldn't measure it at all. But so it's basically half a cup of sour cream. I did buy the cut up, already pre-cut chopped onions, half a cup of them. Yeah, it's one thing I learned in home ec was don't ever pour something over your bowl, but you know, you never can have enough onions or cheese, so I'm not real worried about it. We got our onions. Then it calls for a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and I usually like to use a fresh, but this time this is what I could find, so this is what I bought. You know, if you really like Parmesan cheese, use this much. If you don't use this much, but I'm a pretty good fan of Parmesan cheese. Alright, and then it also calls for a half of a cream cheese, and I need to find my knife. Excuse me, Bob. So it's about 4 ounces of cream cheese. This is the full fat cream cheese, and we'll just cut it in half. And then all we're going to do is mix all of this together, and I'm going to microwave it. And I'm going to mix this all together. Stop. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix this all up. And you know, if somebody didn't tell me this was cauliflower, it sure doesn't look like cauliflower. But let's hope it doesn't taste quite as strong as cauliflower would. But I'm actually going to use this as a side dish. I had bought some steaks for Bob and I, and I'm going to do the steaks, this, and a salad as for our meal today at lunch. We've gotten to where if we can, we eat our biggest meal at noon and just a small meal in the evening. So got this all mixed together, and I'm gonna microwave it, and we'll see how it goes. Okay.
So Linda's been cooking, and she's done a great job on this here steak. We've also got a salad, the cauliflower.
Loaded mashed cauliflower.
Loaded mashed cauliflower. Looks like mashed potatoes. Tastes like mashed potatoes, but
well,
it doesn't.
You haven't even tasted it yet. You don't have to taste it.
Doesn't have the carbs that mashed potatoes have.
I will say, earlier on in our marriage, I made mashed cauliflower for Bob and I, and
it was an epic fail.
It was one of those meals where Bob pretty much had to gag it down and asked me to never make it again. But I think with all of this in it, he's going to like it. So, and then also on the table right there, I have mine. I like to make blue cheese dressing. I found out how easy it was. It's about all I make. Bob does not care for blue cheese dressing, so he has ranch. And so you want to tell us how your steak and your loaded mashed cauliflower tastes?
Very good.
So I can make it again?
Yeah, I'll let you have it this time.
And see how your steak
Especially
is.
since it has bacon in it.
Well, yes. Last time I didn't put bacon in it.
That looks very good.
Should be kind of hot. What do you think? Perfect. So, once again, a nice meal made in the truck. A little bit of innovation had to be used to create this meal, but thank you for joining us. And from Bob and Linda Caffey, thanks from the team Run Smart Cafe.